Well, this is certainly a bittersweet ending for Daniel Craig's Bond. Welcome to another movie review. I'm Helia and I just talk about my thoughts on the movie in the simplest way possible. So this is the latest Bond movie with Daniel Craig portraying the character, and I will try to avoid spoilers as much as possible, but I gotta say, if you haven't watched it yet, go and watch it. It certainly is worthy of your time and your eyeballs. That's a movie reference that if when you go and watch the movie, you'll get what I intended to say. The film's directed by Cary Joji Fukunaga, and I have nothing but respect for this guy after watching this film. I absolutely loved every choice he made as a director and also as a screenwriter. More on that later though. Something that mesmerizes you from the beginning of the movie is its visuals. Amazing cinematography, lighting, and editing. I'll go as far as saying that some scenes look like pure art. So, yeah, it's visually spectacular. But what about the script? Well, the script was written by four people. As I mentioned earlier, Cary Joji Fukunaga co-wrote the script with Phoebe Waller-Bridge, who I think is responsible for the way female characters were written, and she's done a pretty good job, I'd say. Because at least here Bond was surrounded by complex and competent female characters, and I liked some of the changes that were done regarding how Bond, or let's say the script, treated women in previous movies, except for some exceptions. But Neil Purvis and Robert Wade were also involved in writing and the script and also the story. Now, from here, I may go to the spoiler territory, so be warned. I just warned you, okay? Mild spoilers though, but whatever. As for the characters, they were all portrayed by an amazing and talented cast. I liked most of the characters. I was always a big fan of Q, and seeing him here officially stating that he's dating a guy was a sweet short moment that I really enjoyed and appreciated. I also liked Moneypenny too, but the character I liked most was definitely the new 007 played by Lashana Lynch. Later, she reveals that her name's Nomi. And I know for that reason everyone is going nuts over this, but let me tell you, because I know that there's a lot of hate surrounding this argument, but the fact is that you're not seeing the complete picture. If you've watched the movie, you know that she says that she, in the end, returned the 007 to Bond. And at some point, she says that it's just a number. And to be honest, it really is just a number. I don't really think that this much anger and hatred is needed on this argument, if I'm being real honest. She's a badass and I love her. And I'm sure if you give the movie and the idea a little bit of time and perspective, you might change your idea as well. But let's get to other characters. Paloma, played by Ana de Armas, has a very short yet very cool scene in the movie. She's also very badass. But I have a little problem here, and it's with her costume. And if you go watch the movie, also you've seen it pretty much in the trailer, because it's impossible to fight in that costume, in that dress. And those moves, you gotta see her move in that dress. It's impossible to move and fight with that dress on. And by the end of the fight, and I'm not kidding, I'm just being realistic here, but there must be at least one boob out of that dress, if not both of. Now let's talk about the villains. As you've seen in the trailer, Blofeld's back, and I know that there are many of you out there who didn't enjoy Spectre and Christoph Waltz's portrayal of the villain, but he's in this movie for a very brief scene in a very cool prison cell that's been designed, in my opinion. It's very like creatively well designed. Then we'll move on to Lucifer Safin. He's the main villain here, played by Rami Malek, and to be perfectly honest, he's just an okay villain. Some things that really been in my head is that having a villain with disfiguration on the face is just kind of getting repetitive, and we've seen it multiple times, and I think it's not really a good thing to continue with this trope. Does it mean that only villains have disfiguration on their faces? Just wanted to raise the question and put it out there. Now let's move on to the music. One of the key aspects of a Bond movie is its opening sequence, the opening credit, with its special soundtrack. In my opinion, Casino Royale's opening credit and music by Chris Cornell, rest in peace, which was called You Know My Name, is the best one yet. But Billie Eilish's No Time to Die is also pretty good, so I don't think that, because she also got some hate over that, and I don't get the reason. Look, the music is good, so I don't know, there's just so much hate out there, I don't get it. And we certainly cannot forget about Hans Zimmer's brilliant score too. When you listen to the score on its own without watching the movie, it gives you a lot of feelings and thoughts. It's thrilling, but it gets to be romantic and emotional too for some brief moments. Then in other sequences, it matches the atmosphere and the country the sequences is taking place in. But on the other hand, I have to admit that there were some specific scenes that I felt the music is kind of sounded familiar, as if I have heard it before. See if you can catch my point. Now, I'm not saying that the score is bad or anything. In fact, I enjoyed it a lot, and I gotta say, I love Hans Zimmer's work, everything he does, and he's one of my favorite composers. But I guess we've all heard that joke that from time to time he repeats himself. But you know what? I really like this music. I really like his work. So whatever, as long as he composes awesome soundtracks, I'm gonna just listen to all of them. Now, moving on, I really want to talk also very briefly on action sequences, which were amazingly choreographed and shot. And thank God we don't see those awful cuts and then jump to another cut like we see in tons of other action movies. The camera wouldn't just jump and cut it. It actually follows the characters, or in the car chase sequences, it really does follow the cars, as if you as a viewer are not just a viewer, but you're kind of following them on the scene. And last but not least, I have to talk about the ending, and here's again another spoiler warning for you. I'm gonna talk about very mild spoil, I wouldn't completely spoil it, just little tiny bit. Now, I have seen other people talking about the ending. Some enjoyed it, some did not. I understand both sides, to be honest, but I also respect the choice they made creatively. What happened during the last, I'd say, 10 minutes of the movie could be easily changed and there were multiple ways to stop what happened. But I guess they wanted to sort of an epic, yet also emotional ending. Oops, my ring just hit the table. So yeah, they just wanted an epic and also emotional ending, which again, I understand. All in all, this was a really good movie to end the 15 years of Daniel Craig's Bond, my personal favorite. It's for sure among my top favorite Bond films, but also it'll be one of my most favorite action spy thriller as well. And finally, I highly recommend you to watch it on the big screen, only and if only you feel safe to go out there. Thanks for watching. Let me know down in the comments what you think about the movie and the ending. Make sure to mark it as a spoiler comment. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!